Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of our Hera's Guide to 2K Definitive Edition. This is going to be episode 4 and we're going to be taking a look at what to do if you're around 1200 ELO. So we're going to go ahead and update our tab later on and bump it up from 1100 to 1200 ELO as we continue to advance on the ranked ladder. So last time we took a look at the archer builder, archers into crossbows. Today we're going to mix it up and go for the scouts into knights builder, and that's going to help us learn a new builder and let us learn one other civ. So again, like I said last time, I want you guys to learn 2 or 3 civs. One of them is going to be a cavalry civ, one of them is going to be an archer civ, and depending on which ones you want to play, you pick that one. It's important to learn only a couple civs at a time, because if you try to play random civ or a different civ each time, you're going to just be confused on what to do, what's available, and what's not. So sticking to only a couple civs is really going to help you, learn only, learn, the builders and the things I'm going to be talking about, rather than learning what the civs do, in other words, okay? So without further ado, let's hop right into it here. So just going to quickly fix up the current ELO tab. We're moving up to 1200 this time. Very good stuff. And yeah, so this should be quite good. I have for you guys a little surprise as well. It's not really a surprise, I showed it last time. But this is now the Scouts into Knights builder. Once again, a very detailed guide of what to do from Dark Age all the way up to early Castle Age. This is what builders mean. This is what they do. And I highly recommend you guys find them. The way to find them is to be a subscriber on the Twitch channel and to join my Discord. I'll leave links to both in the description of every YouTube video. And those on Twitch, this is how you get these builders, and that should be quite good. So if everyone knows what they are, this is what they are. There's way more of them as well above. I'm gonna just quickly scroll to the top. I've got plenty of them, and I add one every month, so that's a little bit of sellout here for us, and just so you guys know that these are out there. So what do I have planned for today? For 1200 ELO, I have very similar tips as the first or the 1100 ELO guys. It's going to be the same things, continuing to improve the Dark Age. Try to perfect the Dark Age, start learning a different builder, which is Scouts into Knights, and start improving Feudal Age. The reason why you want to learn Scouts into Knights later than Archers into Crossbow is that, in my opinion, it's a little bit harder to do. Not saying it's worse, not saying it's better. Some people prefer Knights, some people prefer Archers, but generally speaking, Archers is a little bit easier to grasp in when you're just starting to learn these builders. We're going to continue to improve our Feudal Age, and then again in the Castle Age, we're going to have spend your resources and anything that makes sense as the only tip, and then Imperial Age, get the 200 pop and don't stop making villas until 140, until you have 140 villagers, and then we're going to continuously add in hotkeys that will help improve our game. This will be done on your end, guys. I already have my hotkey set up, obviously, but I'll be using them and playing at a relatively medium pace, just so I'm not going too fast for you guys to follow. Let's hop into it and see what we have in store today. Alright, so for our cav civs, there's a few good ones. Franks comes to mind as a really strong cavalry civilization. There's also Berbers, but they're lacking paladins, so, just pick one that you like the most. I would actually suggest you pick up Magyars. It's probably one of the strongest cavalry civs, and it's very straightforward as well. Nothing too awkward about them. And they also have a way to play archers with them as well. So if you want a one-trick Magyars, you can play archer builders and scout builders with them. So we're going to go with Magyars. Again, there's tons of other options. You can play Spanish if you really want to. You can play Teutons. They have really good cav. Slavs come to mind as well. Lithuanians are good. Huns are good. Franks are great. There's a lot of good cav. I recommend either Franks or Magyars. Let's do the Magyars here. Alright, so the reason Magyars are so good with the Scouts builder, sorry, I keep changing the overlay, is because they get free attack upgrades right off the bat at every age, and they also get cheaper Scouts. So this is really good for both Scouts and Knights, so that's what we're going to be going for. Let's hop into it and see what we can do versus Extreme AI. Alright, so we'll start the game. I got caught drinking water a little bit, so I might get housed a little bit, that's okay. And again, this you've seen it quite a lot. So you've seen me start the game, make some villagers, do some houses, and it's all well and good. I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and there's the house a little bit. I was caught drinking water. I'm sorry about that, but it doesn't really matter. Also notice that I'm going to be scouting with sheep this time. This is the first time I'm doing this. I did mention it in the previous episodes. I do think at 1200 you should already have the Dark Age going pretty smoothly. You've played probably like 100 games by now, at least in my opinion. Maybe less, maybe more, depending on the person. But we're gonna go ahead and actually do some sheep maneuvering just to scout in the early game and speed up the scouting in our base. Nothing too crazy. I'm just gonna scout a little bit with sheep and then quickly bring them back, okay? Again, do this at your own pace. If you're having trouble doing it, don't stress it. You don't have to. Every episode that I do on stream here will be going to YouTube. If you're watching on stream, you're gonna get the full experience all in one day. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead. We have 6 on food. This is what the builder suggests once again. Now we're going to go ahead and find a wood line. I'm going to take the one in the back just because generally wood towards the back is easier to defend. I'm also going to introduce another topic today that we can talk about in the Dark Age and Feudal Age. I'm going to introduce the topic of walling with your houses. So for the Skeleton to Knights builder, walling is very important. And we're going to introduce how to be fully walled in your builder in this episode. Now, the reason you want to be fully walled with scouts into knights is because you're not making archers, and scouts are really good in the early game, in the early feudal age, to harass villagers. But if you get attacked with a lot of archers and spears, your scouts won't really be able to defend. So because of that, sorry, we only need 3 on wood. Let's go ahead and pull our first boar in. So because of that, we're going to go ahead and actually wall up our map to defend ourselves from potential archer retaliation. We're also going to be going up 21 pop, so a little bit fast at a feudal age, and that's going to be really good at getting up a little bit quicker than opponents and attacking their base. I want to quickly pause and talk about a maneuver I just did on my lumber camp. Okay, so I had 3 villagers on chopping wood on one side, but as you can see, that's pretty inefficient. And we're after improving our Dark Age to the point where it's actually perfect. So because I have 3 villagers on one side, what would happen is that the one in the middle often gets stuck, or they bump a lot on each other as they're trying to drop off their resources. So what I do is I simply split them up, 1 on one side and 2 on the other. If I have 4, I do 2 on one side, 2 on the other. If I have 5, 3 on one side, 2 on the other. You want to split them up so there's at least bumping, or the least amount of bumping as possible. Okay, let's go ahead and do this real quick. And let's go ahead and see what's possible. All right, very nice. And let's go ahead. Oh, sorry, that was actually a really bad lure by me. I was not prepared to do that one properly, so that's on me. But again, I panicked and it just garrisoned, and it was not the worst thing. As long as you don't lose the villagers to the boar, that's like the most important thing. Okay, so now let's go ahead and go over to our berries. So again, just a quick recap, our mill is always touching the berries as close as possible to them. And we're going to send 4 vills there. Notice how I made my house specifically here. I didn't make it here in the middle of nowhere. I made it, touching a wood line. This is going to shape my wall. My houses will shape my walls from now on to help wall my map in the, mid-feudal age to early castle age. That's or late dark age even to early feudal age. You want to start shaping your walls and keeping it 2 and 1. Okay, so now it's 2 on each side of the barriers. Notice how I'm becoming a little bit more efficient with where I'm actually placing my villagers, and I'm constantly scouting my opponent after I found everything. I'm actually a bit late to this boar, so this is not the most perfect Dark Age, but I'm happy as usual that this is happening because I show you guys how to adapt. If you're a bit late to the boar, oh, don't scout where there's nothing. Again, the TC might be there. It's very dangerous. Let's go back a little bit. Okay, let's go back with the elephant. And if your boar is late, just take another sheep. It's no big deal. Okay, I see a lion. The TC can't be near a lion. Let's continue scouting. I'm feeling confident now. Another house will go down. Let's continue the wall. And now let's take this boar. I'm going to actually take everyone up here because I saw another weak vill and I didn't want to lose her either. So I just garrisoned half my vills, and that's good to take the boar. That's a good lure. Alright, so now I'm going to actually make another lumber camp. This is, of course, following the build order. It's not the perfect build order that I'm doing here, but it's as good as it's going to get here. Okay, so again, I've got a relic here. His town center can't be near a relic. It can't be on a hill, so I'm okay to scout here. This is fine. And I'm going to send my last 2 vills at first wood line, get loom, and then I'll click up. And again, it's not a boar, it's an elephant. Yes, chat, it's an elephant. I'm going to go for 21 pop scouts. Okay, I'm seeing a stone now. Okay, that's okay. I see a gold. I'm very close to the edge of the map. And yeah, he can't be there. Let's drop off for food and go ahead and click up to Feudal Age. When you click up to Feudal Age, the build order says we need to send vills to the next lumber camp up until you have 4 on one lumber camp and 5 on the other. We're going to add the 5th vill to the second lumber camp later on if needed. At this point, we're also going to want to get our barracks down, and we're going to need to get a house. I'm going to continue walling with these buildings, but I want to make sure that they're towards my opponent. So I see my opponent is on this side of the map, which is right here on the mini-map, so towards my opponent would be here. I want my stable to be there, but it's okay if my barracks is like over here. That's okay. It's still to the front. Just don't make your barracks to the back for any reason. All right, let's fix our economy. I took 2 sheep, not the most efficient, but not the worst thing in the world. And constantly looking for where my opponent will be. All right. So I see someone in the chat saying this is too much information to take in. Again, when you're watching it on Twitch, it's all coming to you one shot. But keep in mind, these will be going to YouTube in 30-minute episodes where you can pause, rewind, and really intake the information at your own pace. So don't stress it too much if you're not catching everything one shot. I'm just breaking it down for brackets of 100 ELO. So your episode will be in one of those depending on what your ELO is. After your barracks is done and your stable, or sorry, your feudal age is kicked in, you want to get your stable again towards your opponent. And now we'll add our 5th village to that lumber camp. So these guys will do the stable. And we'll go back to wood. You also want to get both eco upgrades right away. A good trick to getting these eco upgrades that I want to mention, as I'm mentioning adding hotkeys, is to add a hotkey to go to your lumber camp. So I'm here. I'm not touching my mouse. My mouse hand is up here. I'm touching my keyboard. I'm going with a hotkey to my lumber camp. And I'm getting the upgrade with my mouse. Again, so I go lumber camp, then I go to my mill, and I get both upgrades. Look how fast it is. Look at this. That's it. Done. And again, these are hotkeys. It's called go to lumber camp and go to mining camp. Okay? Very nice. So just thought I mentioned that. These are hotkeys you can add to speed up your game. I got a lot of questions. How do you play fast here? I want to play faster. I can show you my YouTube. I get so many questions. Add in hotkeys like that and practice. Is there a hole here? I'm pretty sure I just ran through there. Oh well. Alright, now that our stable is built, I'm going to go ahead and make some farms and make some scouts. Okay, we can chase that guy. And it's important at this point to make houses in a wall. We're going to start walling right away in Feudal Age. Also, another thing to point out in this build, you make a farm as soon as you get 60 wood. As soon as you get 60 wood, you make a farm. You don't wait, because you want to convert the wood to food as fast as possible. As soon as you get 60 wood, you make a farm. Okay? Alright. So go ahead and continue making houses and wall. Walling with 1 villager is not enough. Let's go ahead and wall with 2 villagers to speed up the process. Keep in mind, if you wall with 2 villagers, you pretty much cut the process in half time-wise. I've got 3 scouts. Let's go attack our opponent. Again, a lesson here. Patrol. Patrol across the map in case we run into anything. That way, I don't have to constantly watch my army. I just send them. I'm watching the mini-map. They're patrolling. That's all well and good. And I'm going to continue making farms around the TC first, then around the mill. Okay, they're here. I'm tabbing back here. Oh, I don't know why she's taking gold. That's a mistake. She should be taking this. And, okay. This is how you attack with scouts. You try to single out villagers. If he fights back with too many, you can run away. You have mobility. We snipe the villagers we want to snipe, and the ones we don't want to fight, we can run away. And if there's any spears, I have no intention of fighting those. Let's run away from those as we continue walling our base. Notice how we're practicing the feudal age here. Up until like 13 minutes, 13:30, all we do is seed farms and wall up our base. And the reason we're making scouts is to put pressure on our opponents. I'll make a couple more just to reinforce a little bit. And this pressure that we're creating with the scout rush, this is the purpose as I'm running around here. The pressure we're creating is giving us time to wall up our base. It's very important to know why you're doing aggression. And this is the reason. The reason why we can't just wall up and go for a fast castle into knights is because then we don't have time to wall up. But with the scouts, we buy so much time. Alright? So there it is. We run away from the spears. Don't want to fight any spears unless you have 3 scouts to 1 spear ratio. If you have 6 scouts and there's 2 spears, you can fight. If you have 3 scouts to 1 spear, you can fight. If you have 2 scouts to 1 spear, don't fight. Alright, keep making scouts until you're fully walled. This is one of the tips I really like to give out these days, because a lot of people try to stop making scouts when they're not fully walled and end up getting punished. Oh, I'm making mistakes. I'm fighting spears. That's not good. Let's run away. Let's use our mobility and run away. Just to recap here, mining camp 1 tile away. We're going to continue making scouts here, and we'll see how many we end up with. And I'm going to constantly wall with 2 to 3 villagers. 2 to 3 villagers constantly walling, depending on how much you need to get done. Oh, that's not a farm. That's be going to gold. Alright, so notice I'm really trying to wall, and at this point you can incorporate a blacksmith with your wall. You can incorporate a house. Feel free to make your buildings in a wall as well. Once you get 5 to gold, you make your wheelbarrow. And now I'm going to stop making scouts because I'm very much fully walled at this point. So now I don't actually need military. I'm almost done my walls. Let's go attack. If you're scared of, whether you're going to be fully walled or not, send your scouts back. Wait till you're fully walled. I'd rather be safe at home than try to attack too much and end up getting caught. When your berries run out, and I tell you guys this in the builder, when it's going to be running out around the time where you're halfway to wheelbarrow, around 16 minutes, I like to say. In fact, it's exactly 16 minutes if you have four berry villagers. Fun fact there. You make farms with as many as you can afford, and if you can't afford another one, you just send it to wood. Again, all in the builder, nothing I'm making up here on the spot. Okay, I'm literally just giving her the safety of mind here. Peace of mind, I guess you can say. Okay, wheelbarrow's done. Let's make one more villager, and then after that, I'll click up to Castle Age. I'll send the villager I make to gold, and I'll send the walling villager I have here to gold as well. And that will be 7 on gold, which is what I need, according to the builder, to make 2 stable knights. Alright, let's go ahead and garrison, and then I'm clicking the go back to work hotkey, and then I'm clicking up to the next age. Just to speed up that process, around 1200 you can start learning this. Okay, now that I've clicked up, I'm fully walled. My scouts need to attack, okay? Always attack, always damage your opponent, because you have to make use of your mobility. I'm attacking him, and I'm running away from spears. I don't have to fight your spears ever. Sorry, I keep using the formation. We're not gonna deal with formations for a while. Okay. After you click up, there's a few upgrades you need to get. This bloodlines, if you're any civ other than Franks, you'll need to get it. Okay. Go ahead and pick that up as fast as possible. I'm getting trolled hard. I need 1 food. Perfect. And then we're going to go ahead and get armor. I also tell you guys to get forging if you have enough food, but Magyars get free forging, so we don't have to worry about that. We'll get armor for now. Okay, look at that. We can do some good micro like that. Kill the villager and run away. There's so many things you can do with scouts. And again, do it at your own pace. Don't focus too much on micro right now. You're not going to have the APM to do micro and focus at your eco. So try to do as much as possible damage with the scouts, and always run away from spears unless you have that, like I said, that ratio of 3 scouts towards 1 spear. Once you get upgrades, it's different. You can take on more spears once you get bloodlines and armor and stuff like that. But I still have no reason to fight the spears when I can just run away. At this point, you also want to add in a second stable and go ahead and prepare for your castle age. Alright, the second stable is a little bit late. Could have been done like, I don't know, 10 seconds earlier, 20 seconds earlier, so that would be ready by the time you hit castle age. But when we hit castle age, we're going to do the same thing I always say. We hit castle age, we need to do 2 things, or get upgrades, or 3 things. Get upgrades, make units, make town centers. In that order as well. So let's do that. So first of all, let's run away from this fight. Make upgrades, we'll make units, I normally have a second stable, and we'll make TCs. Hera, where do I make my town centers? Very common question. You want to make it on another wood. Right here is good. Doesn't matter what you take off, we just replace it. I took off gold, I replaced the gold. I'm going to make a town center here. So one on another wood line. I'm taking 1 wood line here, 1 wood line here, a 3rd wood line for your first town center. And your second town center will go towards a secondary gold right here. It's okay to delete portions of your walls at this point. Don't hide behind your walls. We're also missing this upgrade, by the way. Don't hide behind your walls the whole game. It's okay to delete portions of it if you want to, you know, I don't know, break out and make a town center like this, or break out and send villas outside for some whatever reason, okay? At this point, he's got a lot of spears, so we're going to try and avoid the spears and kill his skirmishers, because our cavalry units kill skirmishers. And this is why spears is like the worst unit in the game, because it doesn't catch up to the or worst unit in the early game, sorry, is because it doesn't catch up to the knights, and I can just run around the spears literally all day. So group our army and go attack him, and meanwhile we'll just defend versus any aggression and set up our town centers. In Castle Age, you want to do 2 things. You want to set up a Sandy. If it's a male villager, we'll call him Bob, or whatever the case may be. But we'll set up our house villager. Very important. You always need one. And spend your resources. That's it. No more teaching. Spend your resources. I'm not going to teach you how to do any macro right now. It's not important to completely balance your economy. Just spend your resources on anything that makes sense. Have my upgrades. I'm attacking my opponents. Okay, there's a lot of spears there. Knights can fight spears, though. So knights can take on spears. Don't worry. Constantly make knights. Constantly make vills. And that's pretty much it. If he's attacking you, you can defend. And that's pretty much it. There's not a whole lot to do here at this point in time against something like the Extreme AI, because they're going to be, you know, you're going to be way stronger than them if you're learning these builders, and if you're at 1200 ELO. So just practicing how to efficiently do your economy is a really good thing to do, or how to efficiently spend your resources. We got a lot on gold here, so okay, maybe I stop sending to gold. These are things you can tell yourself as you're playing. Okay, so we're going to continue making villagers, continue expanding, and continue attacking. Notice how I'm constantly attacking my villagers. How am I dashing between my economy and my knights? Control 1. I'm 1 space. These guys are on control group 1. and I just go make anything I want to do here. Yeah, make farms. I'll make new villages here. Okay, they're taking some gold here, but I've got too much gold. Let's send over to the wood. Delete some walls. Okay, I need my army. One space. Let's go back. In one space, run back. And this is how you can start playing faster. As you can see, I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm just learning to tab to my army and tab back to my economy. Alright, very nice. I'm gonna kill the spearman. Okay, I've got a lot of gold. I've got too much gold. There's a way to spend this. I could, first of all, get a market and balance that out that way. Or, I like this version better, make a monastery and pick up some relics. Okay? So at this point, my opponent is still in Feudal Age. I'm dead raiding him with knights. He is pretty much dead, but the AI will never resign until you've completely destroyed them. So that's the steps we're going to do. If this goes on to Imperial Age, all I have to do is continue making villagers, continue making units, and try to work my way to 200 pop, and spend my resources as efficiently as possible on things that make sense. What makes sense? Always village production, always knight production, and any economy upgrade that I might stumble upon like this, but I can't afford it just yet. Okay. I'll make some monks. I'm going to get a market. I'm going to try to spend my resources as quickly as possible here. Okay, let's make some more farms. Very good. And continue attacking my opponent. Okay. So let's see at this point. Okay, I got some extra wood. So, okay, maybe I can make a third stable. It makes sense. It doubles my, or not doubles, but it adds some to my night production. I can constantly make villas, constantly make houses. I've got too much gold though still. Let's use the market here to balance that out a little bit. Okay, and I'll continue making farms. This guy will pick up relics for me. Let's go pick up that relic, for example. Alright, and then go back here. Okay, tap to my army. Still doing fine. Yeah, we're still doing fine. We're running around his base. And now, and how do you tap back to the economy? So, go to town centers the way I do it. You can also control group your town centers all together. I've got a lot of lumberjacks here, so let's maybe go ahead and split those guys up. Maybe send half of them here. Yeah, and maybe I'll start taking some stone here because I want to make a castle soon. That's my purpose there. And we're going to continue attacking the town center. Okay, I have more monks coming out. I can use these to heal my units. Let's continue making more stables. Okay, I've got my market now, so I'll buy some food. I'll get husbandry. I'll get the widow, or sorry, the farm upgrade. I'll continue making houses. I got Sandy here, very nice. And continue making a lot of knights. Okay, let's get this little farm thingy here. That's pretty good to get. And at this point, like I said, the AI should be quite dead. But we'll be continuing to spam and continuing to take him out. No other tips I'm going to be giving at this current ELO. This should be enough to win games and get you to a really reasonable advancements. If you feel like you've gotten this done perfectly, you've done the builders perfectly, you can start moving on to tips I will showcase in the 1300 ELO range. But for now, at this range, this should be enough to win games. I've spectated a lot of games at this level, and I'm sure that this kind of play should be good enough to win you the game. Here is that. Let's go ahead and drop the GG versus the AI here, and that's pretty much it. That is how I would go about taking out the Extreme AI or any 1200 player, by just going for a builder like Scouts into Knights and walling up my base, during the builder, and then going up to 3 town center boom while adding in more stables. Now, I do want to take a time to talk about something that's interesting. At lower levels, up to 1300 ELO, or up to even like 1500 ELO, I would say, playing one town center strategies, you stay 1 TC and you go all in army, is more efficient. It's easier to do. However, this doesn't teach you how to properly play with a big economy. So, I will say, feel free to mess around with one town center strategies. Instead of adding in the 2 town centers in Castle Age, you add in a 3rd stable, and you go all in knights, and you focus on killing your opponent. That works better at this level. But practicing the town centers will give you a really, really good result, and will let you get a stronger foundation and a stronger base long term, not so much in the short term. Very nice. Hopefully you guys all learned something from this episode. Let's go ahead and check out the achievements here and take a look at what happened. I mean, simply scouts, wall in the Feudal Age, get the eco upgrades, get the villages set up. Castle Age, we start making knights, we add town centers, and we start raiding our opponent. And we just get so far ahead because we're producing knights from multiple stables, villages from multiple town centers, and we completely destroy our opponent. And yeah, that was the extreme AI. So thanks all for watching this episode. I'll catch you guys next week for the next episode.